And so with this one, you talked on a recent podcast about you're excited that the director of this is the one who did Vicious Circle.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, Marty Callner.
And so as someone, like, in my mind, if you're going to film a stand-up, it's just
Okay.
like, all right, like I need someone to film it, and I press go, or, we go. What is the whole process? Like, what does the director do? Like, what goes into creating a special?
Yeah, it's so much more than just, point and shoot, because with Marty Callner, first of all, Marty is, Hard Knocks on
It's
HBO?
a Hard Knock
Knocks?
Life. No, no.
Not Annie.
No. No, I don't know.
You don't know
Hard
Knock?
Knock.
You're into
Jay-Z,
sports. You're into
I'm not into
fitness
sports.
really?
No. I know I look like a bodybuilder and
Fitness
athlete.
and all that stuff isn't somehow in tandem
you
to,
threw
you know what,
football
edit
at
this
me-
out. I don't want to be this wrong. I hate being wrong. And when I'm very wrong, it can't make the cut. Marty Callner has a show that's been on 20 years called Hard Knocks. It's on HBO. It's about football. And before that, his claim to fame was like anything live, especially through HBO, they called Marty Callner. Garth Brooks, A Million People at Central Park, Diana Ross in her, comeback 1978. Marty Callner is a guy that just like some great photographers can take a picture, but like an exceptional photographer just knows aperture, and they know an angle and a skew that tells a different story.
Right.
So Marty had directed George Carlin, amongst everybody else. But in 1978, I happened to see a special when I was like 10 or 11.
I was dead, so tell me about that.
1978? Okay,
Yeah.
well, I'm like a time traveler because I was there. Marty directed Carlin in a special called On Location. On Location was filmed in Arizona in the Round at the Celebrity Theater. And I saw this special when I was a kid. And not only did I know I wanted to do stand-up, and I was just insanely infatuated with stand-up, but George Carlin. When I saw that, and I saw this guy in the Round, and then years later, I was doing shows in the Round, my first thought was, if I ever make it to that level, that upper echelon of a career, HBO at that time, I want to do it with Marty Callner.
So how does someone direct? Because I thought it'd be like, hey, I have some really funny jokes. You film it. I'm going to tell all the jokes. Like, what goes into it?
You know what it is? Like Marty, for example, Marty will come, if you have 50 shows 6 months before the taping, the filming he'll come to 40. He wants to see every bit. He wants to see where it might go. He wants to see some of the improv that you have around it, because he's already working out the edits and the camera work in his mind. It's fascinating to see him in the edit bay after, because you're not even seeing this one. You're just watching a show laughing.
Yeah.
The nuances and the minutia and editing on the cut and knowing when your hand goes here, that's ushering in, camera drone 3, which is at the end of that fingertip. And he's putting these pieces together that's enhancing the performance. It badly cut comedy in a comedy. I won't name names. I had a couple of my friends recently that are very funny people. They had terrible editors. Their editor is going to, fulfill the marching orders of the director. The editor's really always looking at the director saying, how did you see this piece of material going? And if you see a clunker of a comedy special or a show that you're like, I saw this girl or this guy live, and why isn't this working? That's your director and editor are just, not, they're not in sync. So Marty comes in, Boston Garden, he put 18 cameras at the Boston Garden. He wanted every single element of what I did that night covered. When we did Isolated Incident, second, we did that. It was one camera. We came up with one shot, 60 minutes real time, no edits. We wanted to show people at home, this is what comedy is when you don't finesse it and fix it, later on. So with this one, he came in and he just said, this is how I see lighting your house. This is the material that I think is going to benefit you. Sometimes you hear things you don't want to hear from your director. I think that piece has got to wait. I don't know if you're quite ready to, put that one out there yet. That one that you don't fully believe in. Here's why you should do that. It's special because it speaks to so-and-so. So your director is so much more than a guy that's, filming the show. They're also a bit of like your therapist, because they're making you believe that you're ready to not just film a comedy show, but that you're about to exceed expectations you've set for themselves and your audience has for you. That's what Marty Callner does.
Okay. Well, that's cool. I didn't know all that kind of went into it.
Yeah.
And
it should. Some directors would probably just show up and say like, put 2 cameras right here and film it. But
they love doing this thing.
Yeah. But think of it like this, Max. When you see a comedy show live, it's happening in real time, and your experience is what the person in front of you is saying, and hopefully it's hilarious, and how you're reacting because the people around you were all hearing and on this journey at the same time.
Yeah.
The minute that leaves that room, that's not the comedy show anymore. It's on footage. It's in excerpts. It's how it was lit. It's the hair was in your face. The show that you end up on TV is not the comedy show that anybody, in fact, people even in the crowd, that's not the show that they experienced.
Yeah.
So that needs to be created and curated and cultivated by an incredible director, and there's nobody better than Marty Callner.
When you kind of are like, hey, I want to do this special, here's kind of the content, you're saying he kind of sifts through it. Is he just in silence reading your jokes and you're sitting there like, and he hasn't laughed yet, he hasn't laughed, or do you deliver them to him?
Yeah, I know. It's like I could talk to Marty after a show and he'll be like, that thing killed, that thing, blah, blah, blah. And then he'll leave one thing out. And in my mind, I know like he's going, that's not part of this. He's already seeing a broader scope because he's done it so successfully with not just comedy, with, musicians and then into sports. I mean, this guy knows the heart and soul of how to tell a story beyond just what you're performing.
Right.
Yeah.
What is going on, guys? I am Maxx Chewning, your host. I hope you enjoyed this little clip. If you want to see the full, magical, lovely episode, just click the link down in the description or search Don't Be Sour on your favorite podcast streaming service. And remember, thank you for tuning in.